When most people hear about precast wall panels, two things come to mind: how much money they will save and how fast they can be able to build. But what if I told you that there's more to precast wall panels than just about cost and speed? In this video, we are going beyond the obvious. We want to dive into some 4 hidden benefits of using precast wall panels. These are lesser known aspects that most developers, homeowners, and even contractors would rarely talk about. But this part might change the way you might be approaching your next project. But before we finish the video, I will also want to share with you one hidden weak point of precast wall panels that, again, many would rarely talk about. My name is Sam Wanyweke. I am a building expert. And before we dive in, kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Grab a cup of coffee and let's move into the 4 hidden benefits of using precast wall panels. First and foremost, I want to talk about something subtle about precast wall panels, and this is thermoregulation. Unlike the traditional masonry stone wall, precast wall panels are manufactured with some hollow cores or cavities that act as air pockets. Besides the air pockets serving as a reduction of weight to the panels and also becoming areas which you can be able to pass the electrical and mechanical conduits, these air pockets also trap the air inside, which acts as an insulator against heat transfer. This means that a house that has been built on precast wall panels will tend to be a bit cooler during the day and a bit warmer at night. And that makes it very beneficial in hot zones like Machakos and the coastal lands, and some cold zones like Nyandarua and parts of Kiambu. Thermal regulation, heat, a benefit that many would be desiring for. Now, a second benefit of using precast wall panels, and this is very powerful, you might easily notice it: soundproofing. These air pockets that help in insulating the house, that act as a thermoregulator, they also help in reducing the sound. I know that in a noisy world, peace and quietness is something that many of us would be craving for in our own homes. So these air pockets, because they do not allow air movement, they act as acoustic barriers, enabling you to be able to live in a more quieter and a more peaceful environment. They reduce the noise transfer from outside and even between the rooms, and that makes them perfect for your own home. And this is unlike the masonry stone walls, which could have noise leaks. Sometimes you'll find there are cracks, which also allow movement. But remember that the panels, they are monolithic. On to the third thing, something very powerful about the precast wall panels that many contractors, many developers would rarely talk about. And this is something that has a big potential in maintaining the structural integrity of your building. This is the capillary resistance. We know that in most homes that have been built with masonry stones, there is a tendency for the stones to allow upward movement of moisture, and especially during the heavy rains, that the walls, through the stones, and even the joints can easily allow water to move upwards by capillary action. But unlike these masonry stones, precast wall panels, on the other hand, offer resistance to this capillary action. They do not allow the moisture to easily wick up the panels, leading to more drier and more stronger walls that require less maintenance. But this is unlike masonry. Many of us have seen homes where water is moving upwards the stones, which can also form molds. So this aspect of capillary action is something, it's a boost that precast wall panels can offer. And our benefit number 4, earthquake resistance. Yes, precast wall panels, they are monolithic, unlike the masonry stones that have so many joints in them. And this enables the precast to offer more resistance to earthquake effect as compared to the masonry stone walls. So in the event there is a seismic activity or even foundation shifting, precast wall panels are less likely to suffer catastrophic cracks and even collapse as compared to masonry stone walls. And that makes them very powerful as compared to masonry stone walls. But now, having said all this, the 4 benefits that are less talked about of precast wall panels, that is thermoregulation, soundproofing, capillary resistance, and seismic performance. These precast wall panels also suffer or are likely to suffer from one hidden weak point. I know many of us could be guessing in the lines of the precast wall panel capacity in terms of strength, how much weight they can be able to bear from the top. I know your guess is not bad, but then I will tell you something. Many companies, they usually do what we call the compression strength test of the precast wall panels, and they can even support to say that indeed precast wall panels can be able to support some load, especially the roof loads. Other companies will tell you that you can incorporate columns to add to the capacity of the precast wall panels. But shift that. Let's shift from the strength of the panels. Here is the weak point. Something subtle that many developers, contractors would rarely talk about. So what is this hidden weak point of precast wall panels? Right, the space between the panels. Yes, the space between the panels can become a major hindrance to the from effectiveness of the panels. They become also a hindrance from you realizing the benefits that I've just talked about concerning the precast wall panels. This space between the precast wall panels, first and foremost, if it is poorly done, can allow warm air and cold air to leak through, and thus making the benefit of thermoregulation compromised. That though the panels are good thermal regulators, these spaces between the panels become the weak point to this benefit if it is poorly done. Again, if it is poorly done, they can also allow noise, sound to pass through them, and so defeating the very acoustic barrier advantage that the panels were offering. Needless to say that these same gaps between the panels become the zones by which the panels can allow capillary movement of moisture. And so, to be able to reinforce against that, you may need to do the damp-proof course or even sealants to prevent against this capillary action. The 4th thing that we talked about, earthquake resistance. Again, these same gaps between the panels can become the weak point against the earthquake movements. If not poorly done, when there's a foundation shift, these same weak gaps will be the ones that will show the weakness. And so how these gaps are done will really affect the way your panels will behave and the way your panels will remain to be firm, solid, and serve you for long. Having said all that, I've talked about the 4 benefits, and I've also talked about a hidden weak point, because remember that a chain is as weak as its weakest link. Now we are able to establish that precast wall panels have a conversation that is beyond the obvious. That is their weight, their cost saving, and even the speed of construction. And so you are able to make a well-informed decision when it comes to building your own dream home project. If you have found this video to be very helpful and very resourceful, again, I remind you, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and continue to tune in for more deep dives. And until next time, let us build smart, let us build strong, let us build with purpose. Thank you.